How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be continuing my Sharks of Summer series, where once a week during the summer, I take a look at a shark movie. And this week we're going to be looking at Sand Sharks. This is from 2012, directed by Mark Atkins. This guy's done a lot of work with The Asylum. You may remember him from Six-Headed Shark Attack or Planet of the Sharks. This movie stars Corin Nemec, who you may remember from Raging Sharks, and Brooke Hogan, who you may remember from Two-Headed Shark Attack. Rounding out the cast, we also have Vanessa Evigan and Eric Scott Woods. And this movie is another one of those shark gimmick movies. I mean, we've really seen them since all the way back into Sharknado. Sharks, but with a gimmick, or maybe a superpower. Atomic sharks, sky sharks, toxic sharks. A whole lot of special sharks, and I was really hoping this would pan out into something cool. I mean, just looking at the concept, this could have been something like Tremors. That whole floor is lava thing, jumping from rocks and buildings and trying to avoid the sand. But no, it's just cheaper to shoot on the sand than in the water. Other than that, the sharks are pretty standard. CGI shark jumps out and gets ya, hardly any creative kills. I wish they had done something special, but if you've seen B-Shark movies, you know the drill. Forgettable characters, a rambling and loose plot, and humor that doesn't really land. And also pretty egregious plagiarism of Jaws in here. Sadly, this thing's kind of forgettable, but I can't really get too mad at it because it's basically every low-budget B-grade shark movie ever. And if you've seen one, you've kind of seen them all. It's okay for a lazy Saturday afternoon, turn your brain off, watch a stupid shark movie. It's not terrible, it's not the boringest thing ever, but yeah, this isn't really gonna stick in my head in any sort of way, and this is just another cheap shark movie, and yeah, that's kinda sad. But in order to analyze this further, let's talk a bit about the plot. I'm not gonna do any major spoilers, I'll be avoiding the end, but in order to do a deeper analysis, let's take a bit of a deeper dive. We start off with some cops investigating the death of Prologue Guy, a staple for horror movies, and it turns out for this movie it's dirt bikers with a GoPro, cause I don't know, why not? They find his head, but you know the deal. This looks like a shark attack, but it's on the sand and not the water. And then we get the main sheriff's backstory. It turns out a bit ago, there was a party at the beach. There was a shark attack, lots of people died, including his wife and daughter, and ever since the shark attack, the town has been in financial ruin. Okay, that's a backstory. How is it gonna pay off? It's barely gonna be referenced again. This is the first of many setups that go nowhere in this movie, and we'll get to a few more of them in just a second. After that, we go to our obligatory evil mayor character, and it turns out this one has a sort of scummy go-getter business guy son, and admittedly, with the son and the crowd that he draws in, there is some humor to these people kind of projecting this, fake glamorous life, and the son is like the only actor in this movie with any form of charisma, so I guess that's something there. So at least we have one interesting character. But this guy has a plan to save the town. What if the town that was ruined by a party had another party? Yeah, that's not a good idea. But he's going to throw Burning Man on the beach. Let's call it Sandman. And most of this movie will be about, I don't care about the sharks, the party must go on, we have to save the town. We are going to hear so much about this party. Mild spoiler, it's like 50 people that show up and a DJ, and that's it. 50 people dancing to a DJ. This movie did not have the budget to throw this epic party, and boy, is that another thing that does not have a good payoff in this movie. But whatever. We do get a scientist character, and the scientist in this movie has the backstory of being the daughter of the scientist from the earlier incident with the sheriff's family, but other than her initial setup scene, again, never really referenced. You know you can pay off scenes you set up earlier, right? Well, the scientist is there, going to add some information, talk about shark science, whatever, and then we just do a whole bunch of Jaws knockoffs. For real, we even get the town hall scene, We have to close the beaches. What about our businesses? We need money. Well, we'll just close them for 24 hours. And then cue a salty seaman character. But don't worry, if you thought he might be interesting, he's going to kind of disappear from this movie until like the very end because, yeah, why have an interesting character? Let's just forget we wrote him until we need him again. And I mean, for real, you even do the scene with the fake shark fins, so we're copying pretty egregiously. If they threw in just a few jokes about Jaws, I would think, okay, this is a parody, but really the humor's not working and it just feels like we're copying Jaws here, so yeah, a pretty egregious clone. But whatever. Of course, we get the standard CGI shark jumping out and attacking people, and I have to say, the CGI on the sharks is passable. Not great, but whatever, right? You'd put shark fins in the sand, it's okay. The kills, though, are pretty bad. It's your standard every shark movie ever, CGI shark jumping out and eating you. They don't really do anything special with the sand shark element. Like in one scene, rando girlfriend buries rando boyfriend up to his neck in the sand. And you think, okay, he's gonna not respond and then it'll be like just his severed head, right? No, she gets pulled in the sand and then he does, and that's it. They just get pulled in the sand. There's nothing creative here. And later on in the movie, when the sand sharks are a bigger threat, do you think we're gonna get that trimmer stuff? Not really. One time, some characters get stuck on a rock, but then we just see them somewhere else and they say, we got off, we're fine. Lazy. The action in this movie is so lazy. Whatever. And from there, we get the usual stumbling through a half-baked plot and eventually cobbling together some stupid plan to go after the sharks. But for real, there was like a scene where a shark bites through the town's power line, which is one line on the beach and the whole town's power goes out. And then there's like every character pointing guns and yelling at each other, and I'm like, the movie has no idea what it's doing, does it? So yeah, this really just needed something, you know? Better jokes with more interesting characters, give the movie a solid backbone and through line, but honestly, the humor in here is nothing. Other than the mayor's son, all the characters are blocks of wood, and we set up a whole bunch that never pays off, and instead we get convoluted shark plan like every B-grade shark movie ever. It's sad that nothing came from this, but then again, this is so many of those B-grade shark movies, it kind of blends into the mass of them, and yeah, it's nothing special, but if you want to watch another one of these just as comfort food, I guess that's what you can do with it. Yeah, not really a strong recommendation outside of that. Sand Sharks is just another lazy shark movie. Oh well, maybe next week we'll get something better. Who knows? Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my shark movies playlist, where you can see me talk about a bunch of other shark movies. Good ones like Jaws, bad ones like Shark Exorcist. I've covered a bunch in here. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Playlist here. Have a good day now.